right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special Linners and Wosers episode. We're back here with our friends here from Omaha, discussing again a Union Omaha versus Northern Colorado Hailstorm FC match. A rematch here, as we'll go ahead and say, from the Hailstorm side in USL League One. Big fixture coming up. I'm joined here by our big friend Nick Rosser, and as always, Nick will go ahead and be talking about the Stormchasers supporters group and a little bit of the NoCo Hailstorm side. But go ahead and say what's up, guys, over at the Union side, Union Omaha side. Rich, how you doing?
Good, man. It's good to be back.
Good. Yeah, it's very exciting to go ahead and have everyone back. I thought we had a pretty good time last time. Some predictions ahead of the U.S. Open Cup match. Some of us were off the mark.
Yeah, that 2-2 everyone had. Didn't go as planned.
Chip, how are you today?
Good. Rich and I are ready to turn our wheels north to Minnesota, and hopefully we're the lucky talisman Union Omaha needs to keep winning these games. If we win this one and play in Houston, maybe the team will fly us out for it.
That'll be fun. A little jealous.
And then new face here joining on the comeback here stream. You guys can see the at here mediocre ace. Bryan, tell us a little bit about yourself. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Gans. Thanks for having me on. I pretty much just hanging out, writing for Who Gives a Hoot podcast and doing that kind of thing. So
go ahead and guys, tell us a little bit more about Who Gives a Hoot. I know we touched on a little bit last time, but now that we have more of you guys on the show here, I guess our viewers would like to go ahead and hear more and be attracted here to the Omaha side of USL League.
Yeah, so on a weekly basis, the multiple hosts join together to do a podcast, and they have a great time. They do some fun banter the entire time. And then on the website, we have a series of articles that talk about anything from breaking down the matches to talking about fan experiences, some of the stuff that Bryan covers. I mean, he wrote a really good article recently, so you should definitely hit up the website to check that out.
Yeah, I mean, I just do a lot of fan engagement stuff. Nick, and I probably reached out to you doing the interview for the supporters group and everything like that, and that's something that I kind of want to do going on in the future, is just talk to each kind of new supporters group of whoever we're playing and try to get all that same kind of information from them, just so we can learn a little bit more about each other.
I know you guys mentioned a little bit earlier before the stream started, NoCo Hailstorm FC currently has the Stormchasers supporters group, but over at Omaha, it seems like you guys have quite the handful amount of supporters group there.
Yep. There's a Rolodex card with all the inventory of all the different supporters groups.
More supporters groups than wins, baby.
Yep.
Yeah,
I guess we've only
one?
played 5 games. Yeah, there's a new one, the Owl Pellets. I think it's offshoot of the UA Local 119. They have a kit. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Check it out. Cool. The Owl Pellets.
I just found them on Twitter yesterday, so I started following them then.
Yeah, it's kind of cool seeing everyone kind of sprouting up and doing their things, and especially now that like you have the BHC up in Benson doing watch parties too. It's great to have a couple different sites around town. I know that one's personally really convenient for me because it's right down the road from me, and it's kind of fun, and it's fun seeing everybody kind of grow and develop and see more stuff around town. The more Union Omaha stuff, the better, I think.
Yeah, the more you spoke about the BHC with me, the more I want to go hang out with those guys, kind of get to know them and kind of see what they're all about. Sounded like it was a fun time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They've been watching, for everyone else that maybe isn't so familiar, it's the group of guys and gals that have been watching Premier League games at St. Andrews for the past 10 plus years. And, that was they had a really nice tweet the other day about how for 10 years they've been cheering for other teams while they watch together on Saturday and Sunday mornings. But now they finally have a team for everyone to get behind that they can all cheer for. So it's real cool that they have that camaraderie and everything else. It's fun to see them kind of come into their own because they've been going to games for 3 years and kind of just decided to make something a little bit more.
And Nick and Bryan, I gotta bring it up since Chip was just talking about the Premier League. I am sorry that Villa did not help you guys out. I'm sorry. It was a frustrating day for me as well, watching them go to take a nap for about 5 minutes.
Yeah,
That was not
dude.
fun.
I went to a bar in the morning and it was just depressing. I did cry a little bit because I was like, they gave me so much hope for 75 minutes. That's all I wanted, it was a little bit of hope, and they got it. And wow, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Best thing I saw on Twitter was someone quote tweeting the Manchester City account, the substitution of Ilkay Gundogan coming in, quote tweeting it with, "This is not a game-winning substitution," and it absolutely was hilarious to come back to that, seeing that he was involved with 2 goals there to just show that City brilliance. But
Yep.
very unlucky there, Nick. Was rooting for that Liverpool Premier League win as well. It's always nice to root for Liverpool with a little bit of that Champions League history there with AC
Now, Rico,
Milan.
you're being pretty humble over there. You can start bragging about Milan here now.
That's exciting here. Don't want to go ahead and get into Milan too much because I could sit here for hours and hours, and there's so much on the Milan topic. If you guys want to go ahead and listen to, it'll be coming on to this channel as well. But Milan Reports as well. Go ahead and discuss a lot of my Milan match discussions. But I want to go ahead and talk about what happened in that U.S. Cup match, that U.S. Open match cap. Oh wow, excuse me. That U.S. Open Cup match since Northern Hailstorm and Union Omaha played. And I'll go ahead and start with you, Nick. What are your thoughts here since we've played each other, or how'd the match go? How were you feeling afterwards?
I was very disappointed. I did not think we even came to play that day. It didn't even. The boys looked tired. It was like I've never seen them play that bad, and Omaha punished it with possession and all the opportunities they created.
Now, I just want to go ahead and go off of that. What do you think are some key takeaways that NoCo can go ahead and make to make a difference in this upcoming match?
Well, first of all, I think we got to start some of our better players. I don't even think we had some starters playing in that game. I want to see Jerry Desdunes play some more. I want to see Denzo Ulysses. He's an outstanding right back. I would love to see maybe we give someone like Arthur Rogers a break. He's the only player with 700 plus minutes already for the team this year. Everyone else is lacking a little bit behind. So I want to start implementing maybe, I don't know, maybe like see a little bit of Shane come in with his leadership, but I didn't see too much of that in that game. And on the bright side, at least, we got to see the rise of Trevor Amon finally. The kid showed up. He hit the crossbar. He had 3 good chances against Omaha, and he finally got his first goal this last week. So that was a positive.
Anyone specific you think will be the absolute difference maker if NoCo shows up against Union Omaha?
Irvin Parr. I think he'll
Yeah.
score the goals. He was missing in the last 2 Open Cup matches. So with already 3 goals this year for the team, I think he was a big miss that game. And I think he'll be a difference maker if we actually win the game in Omaha this time. We are playing a new stadium, but I think he'll be the difference maker.
I think the fun thing for NoCo too will be, I assume that your dimensions will be pretty similar to what we have out at Warner Park. So you kind of will get a better idea of how your team will play at home as well, because, as much as Omaha fans groan whenever someone brings up the stadium being too short or whatever else, it does change the style of play. It's a little bit more compact. It's easier to attack off the counter. It's easier to press up high and get back on D. And so for you guys, it'll be a nice little preview for how you guys might play at home, which will be fun for you guys to kind of see as well, even though you're starting off at a more traditional size soccer facility.
Mm-hmm.
Chip, I want to go ahead and ask you, this will be a much different game since it's not a cup match, league match. What do you think will be some big differences that, this Hailstorm team might bring, or the Union Omaha team might go ahead and play now that you've seen how, Hailstorm plays here?
Well, I would say the big one is Omaha really needs the points. Both of us need the points. We are, both of us have 5 games, which is tied for last in games played so far. We had a game moved for Charlotte this Wednesday. I think you guys, just because of the stadium situation, are kind of more backloaded as well. And so we don't have a lot of games played. We're sitting at 8th and 9th in the table respectively. And, both of us kind of probably want to make a win to make more of a splash on the league table while we both made a big splash in today. I don't think this is how being 9th place in the table at week 8 is probably how most Omaha fans wanted to be at this point. Granted, that's a lot of teams being a lot tougher than we thought. That Tormenta draw looks really, really good right now. Losing to Charlotte 2-1 doesn't look so bad. But I think Omaha probably wants to get some points at home in just our second home game of the year at Werner Park. And so I think they're going to come out, regardless of the result on Wednesday. I think the Omaha players are going to come out energized, looking to get a win in front of the home crowd, which they really haven't had the opportunity to do much of this year.
I will go ahead and say that even throughout all the leagues in the world, you see that teams competing in certain domestic cups or other continental cups, at times during the league could go ahead and struggle. But, it's still a little bit early here to go ahead and judge Omaha here based on, their style of play. Just because where they're sitting, they are the only U.S. League One team left in the Open Cup. And Rich, I just want to go ahead and get your thoughts on how that feels going into this match against MLS side Minnesota.
Feels good, and there's 25,000 reasons to feel good. But going back to the Open Cup, I think Northern Colorado is going to have to change their tactics when they play at Werner Park on Saturday. When they played at Caniglia for the Open Cup, they really tried to attack the right side of the field a lot. And they were, what's that player's name? Norty?
Yeah, Norty.
Norty.
Yeah. They were trying to use him a ton on that right flank and overlapping midfield, trying to sneak him in whenever they could. So Union Omaha saw that and they started pushing their personnel off to the side, and they were able to close down a lot of those passing lanes. And when they tried to use Stefan Lukic to try to swing the ball, back over to the left side, because those passing lanes were closed down, they had to drop the ball back to their defense and build out of the back all over again. When they tried to go to the left side, they would try to make, quick attacks. And it just didn't seem to work out for them, because when they tried to do that final pass in the attacking third, it just didn't connect. And so I think Northern Colorado is going to have to change their tactics a lot more on Saturday. But I think with Para up top, that's going to help you guys a ton. So I think Saturday is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
All right, I'll just go ahead and keep asking you here. What are some key takeaways? And this time, I know you just talked about NoCo a little bit, but for Union Omaha, what are some key takeaways that can go ahead and be said to go ahead and make a difference on the match?
They have to play the full 90. They seem to play well up until about the 70th minute, but then in those last 20 minutes, they make a lot of fans nervous. And you saw that with the Charlotte match when they let those 2 goals in at the very end. They were playing so well up until that point. They have to play the full 90 minutes, and with the depth that Northern Colorado has on their bench, they're going to have to play that full 90, because those Northern Colorado players are going to start coming on, and they're going to test that back line over and over.
Bryan, agree, disagree? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. What I'm really interested to see is if we can do the same kind of shifting and movement on defense that we did in the first matchup. So where we saw Northern Colorado go to that right side of the field a lot, and you saw most of our guys shift over to that side and make you guys try to come all the way back across the field. And even when that did happen, the midfield shifted over and got there in time, that, like Rich said, you guys had to play the ball back and go and try to play from the back all over again. And so if we can continue to do that, even on the smaller field, which is going to make it a little bit more difficult, that's really going to be the game plan, in my opinion, for Omaha. Just kind of continue to do what you did last game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, since the two sides have met, they've both had a match in the league, Union Omaha drawing NoCo Hailstorm, getting the win. Let's go ahead and talk about team form right now. A little bit of the tactics ahead of the game on Saturday. Nick, from you, I know we talked a little bit about the key differences, something that could go ahead and make an impact, but what's it looking like mentality-wise? What does importance of the win here at Union Omaha mean?
I think it would mean a lot because I don't think a lot of these USL 1 teams are ready to come to altitude to play this team that have been running their butts off. They're very fit. And I think the highest elevation is like 1,000, maybe 1,500 for the next highest team.
Ironically, it's probably Omaha, and I think we're at like 2,500.
Yeah, and I actually think it is Omaha. So I think just giving your all, because you're gonna get some better breaks when you come home, and these teams are gonna be gassed. So I think implementing a lineup with Para, Aman, and Lachlan like the last game will be important because that we didn't have that balance, and since Trevor's already playing so much better, I think he should be getting some minutes this game. And he really impressed me versus Omaha when he had his cameo. He did hit the crossbar. He was the only guy pulling up some shots. And I just think it'll mean a lot to the forwards getting all 3 of them in on the field this time and then trying to get a result. Because last time I know Parra is going to be very disappointed not being on the field against Omaha in that loss. So I think it's just getting all 3 of our forwards involved this game.
So, Nick, I got a couple questions for you. Do you think they're going to go with a 4-2-3-1 again on Saturday? And if so, who do you think is going to play the central attacking midfielder?
I think it'll be Lukic because I think we'll probably end up having. I'm not even sure. We'll probably have Nordy playing the two with Danny Robles. So I think, or Robles might play the 10, but I think we'll probably see. Who did I just say? I'm tripping here, but
Robles?
Lukic. I think we'll see Lukic probably playing either the 8 or the 10 that game, and if it's not, it's going to be Robles, and we'll probably have Lachlan out wide on the left, and I think we'll have Scally probably on the right, and then Trevor or Parra up top.
Lukic handled the ball well. It's just that as soon as he got the ball, he was overwhelmed because he had to suck in over on that right side to find those passing lanes. And so as soon as he got a touch on the ball, he was immediately under pressure. That's why they had to swing the ball back to the back line and eat up that time for the defense to reset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll probably just be having Parra in to connect better with to feet. We'll probably set Lukic like a little more free because in the last game we just didn't have that connection up top. It was isolation, I would say. So just Parra's impact, just holding the ball up, will definitely change the game a bit, and we'll probably be able to shift sides a lot better with him, open up more space toward the left.
Yeah, because in the first half of the Open Cup match, you guys had 3 shots and none of them were on target. And then in the second half, there were 8 shots and 1 on target. So I think with Parra, he's definitely going to change that bit of statistics there.
Mm-hmm. I also just think he just has all his off-ball qualities too, just bring out the best in NoCo so far this season.
Yeah.
Especially when we're playing teams probably closer to our level. I know he wasn't involved in the Open Cup match when we won, but his involvement or not, you may not squeak a 1-0 win. It's just a little bit lucky beating RSL. So I just think Parra at this level has just played so well so far, and we'll definitely need him.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, Nick, when we talked about earlier in the year with the head coach, Iman Zayed, you had high expectations for the league coming in and getting results and being one of the teams competing for the top here. Are you thinking that we're seeing some team looks like that? Or is it, I know that we have some exciting stadium news to go ahead and share, but do you think once we go ahead and start playing some games here in Colorado, it's going to go ahead and make a huge difference?
Yeah, I still think the team just needs more minutes together. I know we did have those European players have 2 games off. We still haven't played in front of a home crowd yet. I feel like they have some jet lag to them. I know we've had some big breaks, but in between we did have multiple weekend, and they're flying from all over the country. So I just think so far I've loved what I've seen from Iman. He's really impressed me. I think getting 2 wins already, or technically 4 wins, and this will be the ninth road game in a row. I think it's really good so far. I think once we start getting some home minutes together with more chemistry, having teams have to come to the altitude, I think we'll start seeing better results. And probably my biggest goal is just not blow it after a goal in 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
I know Omaha fans can. And you guys are going to get over 10 on the road to start the season. That's rough, especially for a new team and an expansion team. But I think you guys have definitely made the most of it so far with 4 wins so far. So that's definitely pretty cool, despite some of the hardship you guys have had to start.
Yeah, Enrico, you were talking about it a little bit when you were asking Nick that question. I think it was announced yesterday that you guys are going to be starting at Jackson Sports Complex over at Northern Colorado, University of Northern Colorado. And I got a little interested into that because it looks like their capacity is 1,500. Number one, do you guys think you guys can sell that out? And number two, are there any ideas about expanding, seating to allow more people in there?
Yeah, so actually I'm not quite sure if they're going to do it at Jackson Field yet, but from communication I've had with the front office, we've heard that even at the new stadium, it's not going to feel like a baseball atmosphere. They said they're going to throw I heard 1,500 to 2,000 seat bleachers along the side of the field to give a soccer atmosphere as well. So I think they're going to try to they're going to try to do something like that. I know there's been some hype around the first league game. I remember going to watch an away game at a certain brewery. It's called Peculiars. And all these people were telling me, they're like, oh my God, I thought Hailstorm started in June. Like, I didn't know they were even playing right now. So I think just getting a little bit of marketing out there. But I think 1,500 is not maybe it's not a reach, but I don't expect to sell it out just because Windsor is a small town. And I do think the team could be marketed better within Fort Collins, within Loveland, and within Greeley. But since the game will be in Greeley, since the first games might be in Greeley, there might be some good turnout since it will be exciting. Greeley's a pretty decent-sized town.
And it's just barely like a half hour west of Greeley or of Windsor. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's about half hour, 25 minutes.
Cool.
I'm just going to have to agree with you, Nick, there. Honestly, I think due to the fact that the club has had some difficulties, at least marketing the club itself and its games, a little bit communicating with a lot of the northern regions of Northern Colorado to just go ahead and grow a little bit of the fan base. I think a little bit what the doing to go ahead and have a sellout here. Just depends here on the first game. Just like Nick said, I don't think it's going to go ahead and be too impossible. If the club really commits on trying to go ahead and get that Greeley population to come in, Windsor, if we go ahead and continue to go do those pub watches, I know that on the Stormchasers website, they're continually adding events that are occurring so they can go ahead and meet together and continue to grow that fan base. But at the game itself, most likely the first one probably be the biggest attendance, I'll have to say, just because it's still growing as a community, not only as a community, but as a sports team as well. And having so many games away from home to start your season, it just gets a little bit of that disconnection from people who are not fully involved, fully invested, like on Twitter, where they go ahead and communicate a lot, or other social media. So it all depends on how much they're going to go ahead and pump in to try to market that game, the first game back. But it would be nice to go ahead and have at least a full section by the supporters to go ahead and be loud here, and then just go ahead and be vocal and see that there is something starting right behind the team, because we might not be able to go ahead and travel to all of these different locations, But from the few that I went ahead and spoke with, very passionate to go ahead and be behind the team here and to go ahead and communicate. Even at the Rapids game, they were there wearing Hailstorm gear to go ahead and bring attraction towards it. So it's really exciting to see. But
and on the bright side, I will be doing an interview for the Coloradan newspaper. I think this week or next week, they want to do a big article about Hailstorm, and they want to have me on to talk about Stormchasers. So hopefully that brings a little hype. Recently, we have been getting a little more coverage from the Northern Colorado, I would say like sports reporters. You got CSU football people talking about Hailstorm now. You got other people starting to get the chat. Right now I just think it's been slow. Not playing a game at all is kind of rough. And just been going around as I've been going around. I went to a morning bar for the first time. I didn't even know you could do that for Prem, to be honest. I was just staying at home, and I was talking to all these dudes, and they're like, yeah, we know about Hailstorm, but like we just don't have any info. Like I'm not on Twitter, I'm not on Instagram. Like we don't do that stuff. So I just think more community events, have people come out, because right now like a lot of people turned out for the New Belgium kid unveiling. So just more stuff like that to keep the interest going. But I don't think it's far-fetched for a preseason game against Rapids too. I think there was about 500 people there. So
yeah,
first home game, I could see maybe filling up.
And Bryan and I can attest to the fact that, for clubs like Northern Colorado and Union Omaha, their main mode of advertising and marketing is straight up social media. I think I heard someone mention in the Union Omaha Discord that there was a commercial on before one of the soccer matches over the weekend, but I haven't seen a single advertisement. I haven't seen a billboard. I haven't seen, a commercial. I mean, it's everything I see is on social media.
Right. And I mean, Sporting Kansas City has 3 billboards in our town, and we don't have a single billboard out there. So, I mean, marketing issue and everything like that too. It kind of just comes with the territory of being a League One side. So I don't think you guys aren't alone in that thing at all.
It's just like Colorado sports is already a tough market to crack, and people only turn up here when teams are winning. So just having already having a USL championship team, already having an MLS team within a 2-hour drive it's been tough. But I really think they could have a nice grip on the Northern Colorado region, which will soon be up to 500, 500,000 people. It's almost, if not there already. So
yeah,
it's like you're fighting Rapids fans because they're an hour away. It's they want to be fans but they're not gonna. They'll watch us on TV, but they're not gonna come to games. They're not gonna wear the stuff. They just like us because we beat Real Salt Lake.
Well, I mean, it's not a bad reason to like them.
Yeah, those have been the best marketing tools we've had. Has been our wins on the field.
Oh
Every time we win in the Open Cup, it was huge, and all the social medias would blow up. That's when Stormchasers, myself, we started getting more credited reporters trying to follow us, trying to see what's good. So we just need to play some games, just build some exposure, because we'll see a good crowd. It'll be mostly families though, but I want to see young people come out. I want to see more people come out and just have passion for Hailstorm.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that, if your team doesn't go ahead and go and win the whole cup here, one of the biggest achievements of that season has to be beating an MLS side, and NoCo Hailstorm FC being able to do that, and Union Omaha being able to do that, and now facing their second MLS side on Minnesota. Just want to go ahead and get, again, quick thoughts on how you guys feel going into that match.
It's going to be a tough one.
Extra time and penalties?
No, I think it'll be settled
like
in,
that,
in
wouldn't
90
you?
minutes.
Well, I would say almost extra time and penalties would almost be the worst thing for Union Omaha. Just
it'd be pretty good for me.
Well,
yeah,
I
Nick,
mean,
you were saying on Twitter you want them to go to 2 periods, extra time, PKs. You just want them to get tired for Saturday.
You want 'em to run
Yeah, I was like, keep running, keep running.
run the
Hey.
St. Paul Marathon the next day.
No
It's only bad
recovery.
if you don't win. If you
Yeah.
win in extra
Yeah.
time, sure, that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
And
I mean, you
I
see it all
did
the
say
time.
that.
You
Do you
have
guys
you
Go
take it. I mean, you take it a little bit. You take the league a little less serious when you're in these kind of cup matches. You see it with everybody. I mean, even Sounders when they were in the CCL, look at where they're at now, but they won the CONCACAF Champions League. So, I
Yeah.
mean, you focus on what's ahead of you in those more important matches, quote unquote, at the time, and then the league will sort itself out after you get
Mhm.
done going as far as you can go. So,
and this is no disrespect for NoCo or their fans or anything else. If we beat Minnesota United, you guys can beat us on Saturday. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
I want to beat you, but if we don't, whatever.
Yeah.
Money in
will
the bank,
ask
go to
this.
8th round or round of 8. So,
Are there
but no, I
going
think
to
it'll
be any-
be.
Go ahead. Just going to go ahead and ask if there's going to be any notable sit downs or players who might go ahead and get the rest here, or any players that we might not go ahead and see on Saturday because who knows, a strong lineup against Minnesota. Thoughts on that, guys?
I think the big question is Nuhu. So during the Richmond game, he came out at halftime. Him and Emilio Terzaghi had a bit of a collision in the box. It looks like he got hit in like the neck or the head or somewhere like that. And, you know, I think that's Jay Mims is a notoriously tight-lipped coach who won't say shit about shit. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him on Wednesday, but that doesn't mean he couldn't play Saturday because like last year with Conway or with EVD when they were out for long periods of time, I think it took like 8 weeks for Conway to even appear in the injury report, and it just said like lower half. I don't think EVD appeared in the injury reports at all.
I'm still waiting for EBD to play for us.
He's played a little bit, but not too much. But yeah, it's
4
it's
games. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
'cause-
Jay just is notoriously tight-lipped, and that would be the big thing is if Nuhu's hurt. Not that I don't think Pietra is a good keeper. I just think Nuhu is probably one of the 2 best keepers in the league. And so missing out on him for any long period of time, I think is going to not be the best thing in the world, especially for an Omaha team who's looking to claw its way back up in the table and really take advantage of those games at hand we have over everyone else.
Yeah. I'd really like to see Dion back in the lineup too, because he didn't even dress against Richmond.
And
So
with some of
having
the
a
older, and with some of the older players with Richmond, I wouldn't be surprised if we just gave them a little extra rest to recover because we could.
Yeah.
You know, emotional week, went to the round of 16, and you know, sometimes you just have one of those. It's not really an injury, but it's one of those like, oh, my knee's hurting or something like that, and you'd prefer not to risk it if you don't have to, because if you do inflame it, it goes from being just, you know, ice it after practice to being you're out for a while. So
Yeah.
Sweet.
Now, I will say it's a little bit early here. As we're looking to go ahead and wrap it up, it is, again, I know you have a pretty important fixture here before face off against Hailstorm here, but let's just go ahead and say, after playing, you know, your U.S. Open Cup match, any early predictions here going into the match? Maybe, Nick, you can go ahead and start since NoCo doesn't have to go ahead and play in the Cup match. They have some more of a rest period.
Like score predictions or like what's just gonna happen in the game, or
You could go ahead and say both if you want to go ahead and give a little score prediction if you think it'll sit through even through the game that Omaha will have to go and play, and then what you think might go ahead and happen based on tired legs, so and so.
I'm gonna go with 1-1 this time. I'm gonna say they tie. I think tired Omaha legs will catch up to them, even with the short week. Hailstorm's gonna come out a little more motivated with hopefully 3 players in the lineup that should be there, starting there for the rest of the season. So I just think 1-1 seems like a good result for me.
Okay, I'll go ahead and move over. Rich, what about you? What are your thoughts, if you have any, leading up to the game prediction-wise?
Yeah, I think 1-1's a good, prediction. I think Jerry Desdunes is going to get another yellow card in the first minute. And I think more coaches are going to get yellow cards as well. Yeah, we'll see a lot of red cards on Saturday.
You think Hailstorm will go ahead and capitalize early, or is this something that they'll have to go ahead and wait until Omaha gets a little bit more tired late in the game?
I think Hailstorm will score in the first half. And then I think Union Omaha will score in the second half.
We'll blow it.
Showing that Omaha class. Chip, are you going to go ahead and agree, disagree with what's being said so far?
We can't all agree. That's no fun. So I'll go 2-1 Union Omaha. And my hot take is that Eamon leaves his white Irish fishing sweater at home this time.
He did go without it the last game. It's the first game without it. I was like, I miss his sweaters already. I want it to be 100 degrees out and him with the nice.
It's going to be in the
sweater on.
80s
Yeah,
on
it's gonna be
Saturday.
warm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was in the 80s when he put it on in Omaha. So,
I thought it was 90s on that night.
yeah.
Wow. His wife dresses him.
A great sweater. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I had the confidence to wear white and not be afraid of spilling on myself. But yeah, so that's I think 2-1 just because I want to be different. But I think Omaha's historically been very good at home. We've had a very good record there, and I think especially right now it's important for us to win at home. And so I think we blew out Fresno at home, who now is looking like a lot better team than I thought they were at the time and everything else. And I just say 2-1 Omaha. That sounds good to me.
So if the Stormchasers show up, like, is it even your home anymore? Or is it our home?
Well, if the Stormchasers show up and you come in your gear, they'll probably let you into the locker room and stuff. They have their own special locker room that Omaha players aren't allowed in. So,
lame. That's lame.
Probably switch out all the media and everything. Like, oh shit, it's Stormchaser game.
Wow.
A lot of merch for you guys in the Omaha store too.
Yep.
Good. I do like picking up a scarf. We could go ahead and get a Omaha scarf if you have one there. But I do want to go ahead and say I do like the positivity you have. And I'm going to go ahead and just, continue that positivity and say that 2-1 victory is continuous momentum from how well you guys will be playing throughout the week. Because it is important, despite how you guys perform in the cup, to go ahead and regain that momentum in the league, to go ahead and climb back up in the standings there. And you have shown that you can go ahead and beat NoCo Hailstorm FC. So a little bit of that could go ahead and show off, especially at home. But I'll go ahead and support a little bit of what you had to say there, Chip. And let's see, Bryan, see if we're going to go ahead and look forward to if you're leaning towards a tie, an Omaha win, or if you want to go bold.
For me, it kind of really comes down to who's going to be in goal. We talked about it earlier, with Nuhu, the injury that he did get, that could be one that he was ready to go the next day, or it could be one that sits and lingers for a while, especially if it's a strain or something in the neck, especially as a goalkeeper. You're not going to go in and chance that. So it kind of really depends on who's in goal. If Nuhu's in goal, I'm going to go ahead and say 3-0 for Omaha. But then if we throw Kevin in there, probably I'll spot you guys 1, and we'll say 2-1 Omaha.
Brian's being kind.
Yeah, I got faith in Kevin. He's great. He's a great keeper.
I'm just
We're very
surprised
lucky
to hear that the goalkeeping is the difference between a 3-0 just absolute demolition of NoCo Hailstorm and a 2-1 pretty intense game. But I'm excited to go ahead. I haven't seen much of Nuhu that you guys have mentioned. Excited to go ahead and take a look a little bit more. And I know that previous matches of the US Open Cups are online for me to go ahead and do so. And everyone at home can go ahead and get a look as well, because you guys are repping us at League One. So I know that there's a lot of support behind the Union Omaha. I know that at least from this part of Colorado, this 5x5, you're being supported. So Want to go ahead and leave it up to open discussion here on any closing thoughts from Mark's discussion, but anything, guys?
So when you play Liverpool next year in the Champions League, how are you gonna, or in the Club World Cup, how are you gonna feel?
5-0 Union Omaha. I think Salah might get a goal though. It goes into extra time.
Could you imagine Union Omaha at the CONCACAF Champions League?
That'd be crazy. and again, it's fun to talk about, but I think it is crazy that they're essentially 4 wins away from winning the Open Cup as a D3 team. Like when you talk about it like that, it's crazy to think about. Like if we were a NCAA tournament Cinderella team, I don't think people would be like, oh, well, they're done after this round, even though it's probably a similar like disparity in like at least on the paper talent. But it is crazy to think, you get a hot hand and play some good games, and who knows what happens.
Yeah. We're cheering you on.
It's a one game.
Did you guys hear why the assistant coach got the yellow card in the Open Cup match?
It's just a Kevin thing. He gets one every match. He just yells.
Oh, does he really?
I haven't seen him. I haven't seen one match without him getting one. So
because I could see him chirping away there on the sideline, but I obviously couldn't hear anything he was saying.
I was right behind him. I didn't hear what he was saying. I know he was talking a lot. He was at least a good sport though, because I was, a few steps back from him, and I like to give it to coaches quite a bit. And he turned around, just laughed and clapped, and so he took it as a good sport. So,
Kevin's a great guy. He's just a yellow card machine.
Well, and Jay Mims gave the ovation there at the end too after he got his yellow card. That was fun to see.
I don't know if that came across on the broadcast, but the Omaha fans have a chant that's just Jay Mims, Jay Mims. And after he got the yellow card at the end, the entire stadium started singing it, which is right behind the benches. And that was a pretty fun experience. Everyone just been like, God damn it, you stupid.
Knowing he's sitting out the next home game anyway, or the next game anyway, up in Richmond. So he already knew.
No, yeah.
Trying to get 2 days off, I guess.
Very exciting for you guys, though.
Well, as we have mentioned, there is a lot of support here behind the league as you guys take on Minnesota in your U.S. Open Cup match. I said that correctly this time. And then it'll be an exciting revenge for NoCo Hailstorm against Union Omaha in the league match here on Sunday. Guys, it's very exciting to have you on the show. It's always great to collab and hear everyone's soccer ideology, soccer thoughts, I guess. I love hearing it. And we wish you luck, and just signing out. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Guys.